Hello and welcome to Life After Work, a series that talks about how you can maximize your life after you close from work. My name is Chimsa and I'll be your host for this series. And for today, we are going to talk about the law that was passed in France concerning the right to disconnect after you have closed from work. So I have with me AJ, who will be joining me in this discussion about the right to disconnect and its implications, and how it can or how it would affect African corporations if they decide to take up that law. So you're welcome, AJ.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a bid to for France to balance that work and life situation, like even though they have the 25-hour working schedule, they came up with this law that they passed that the right to disconnect after you close from work. Corporations that have more than 50 employees, like that law is passed for them to they can refuse to check emails after work. What is your take on that?
Well, for me, it's a good thing for them. I mean, if you check how their companies and how their lifestyle at work is, and it looked like when I read the article the first time, it looked like for the French, they are really busy people. They want to get things done. They are always concentrating on their work. So I think it is to help them, because as much as work is important, our personal life too is important. You need to think about your children and your lifetime, your holidays. Those things. It's fun. It releases stress. So it's a good thing that they did.
Do you think that technology is not just limited to France, it's all over the world? So what is your take on other, France is not the only place that is trying to create that life after work balance. So what is your take on that?
On the other countries, this is what gets really interesting. Now for France, I understand them because of their type of work. But for example, for African countries and the companies in work, I don't know whether this will be beneficial, because, and even with the French countries, I believe that, I don't know whether it's affecting all of them, because there are some positions out there that they are exempted. I was also reading another article. I think they implemented it, but it's a little bit different from theirs, where it's only subjected to certain people. So some people can actually receive calls at work, because I think personally it depends on the type of work. And there are certain type of work you cannot, switch off completely. You have to, so
something like the medical
people, you can't switch them. So it depends on, I believe, the country and the people into. So if they will have to pass it in other countries, then I think, well, for example, it depends with the company. So
obviously, because even with them, it's restricted to 50. Those with 50 employees or more. So let's say startups with less than that are not obliged to disconnect right after work.
Yes.
When France passed this law, right, the world reacted positively to this law, because a lot of people feel that the technology has made communication easier, and it has made it difficult for people to disconnect right after work. So it's like you still have your phone, you have your tab, you have your laptop all around. So regardless of wherever you are after work, you can easily connect to work and still So do you agree with the general perception that France took a bold step?
They did. I agree with them. They really did. I don't know whether some are complaining. Of course, some are complaining.
Yeah, of course. The labor unions, some labor unions have a problem with the fact that some, just as you said, there are some occupations that you can't.
I mean, some are working 35 hours a weekend.
Yes, it's even less than the general working hours in Africa.
Well, the point is the work really getting done? So I agree, but let's see if the law was implemented. Let's see for some few months and see whether it will maybe reduce the working efficiency, or they're going to lose something, or if there is, then maybe they can reverse what they did. But Honestly, it's better to look at the people because there are people working, or if they choose to let a robot work, then that is their own choice. But there's people who are working and they need time to rest. When they go home, they need to have time to. First, for me personally, when I come out from work, I need to have time with. I love time being alone. I just want to read.
That is the main reason why the law.
So I cannot be. My main purpose in this world cannot be
just working your life away.
I need to have something doing. Not because I hate the company, because I love the company too. That's why I'm working there in the first place. Yeah, but I also need to have time for my family and my friends. And that is it. So it's important. But then again, I don't know whether the reason why the labor union are complaining is because they already have less time and they're looking for more time. Well, that is it, but it's a good thing in general, and I think other countries will also implement it too.
I also personally think that, before you move to the city more or less, you realize this hustle and bustle. There are some families, they don't even they don't see the breadwinner of the family. The children wake up, their father is going to work, they sleep. And it's all, sometimes even weekends that let's say the parents should have time for the children, they end up working or they end up cancelling, let's say, fun activities to bond the family. So the law passed by France to the right to disconnect. Other companies such as the VW, they also passed the law where you don't send emails from company-owned smartphones between 6:15 and 7 a.m. on weekdays and on weekends. And other companies too have taken that bold step. So I think that, and I want a view on this, I think that even if it's not passed as a country, as a company, it's a way to improve effectiveness, because one of the reasons why this law was also passed was because workers are not disconnected from work. They are still working over the weekend, so they don't have that necessary rest. They come on Monday and they are still tired. So what is your take on that? Like, if it's not country-wise, should some companies take it up?
You see, that is what I said. It will depend. For me, I don't want to be. It's good that they implemented the law, but I don't want to sound like, okay, this guy is all about, no. I have to, for me, if you want me to go deeper, I have to look at the company, look at the type of the job they are doing. If the employees needs, they need to disconnect, fine. But if some people don't need to disconnect, that is so fine. We can have a place for them to have longer holidays. So we need to check all these things, because I don't want to sound like, okay, it's a must for everybody to go on. I don't think it will really benefit the company in general. So if, for example, if you're a manager, even for the managers themselves, I know they have holidays, but they work overtime. I mean, there's this saying.
Some, not all.
Well, if you are now coming up and you want your company to be on top, you have to keep on coming with.
I think the law took into consideration startups by stating the number of employees you have. Because if you're a startup, you obviously you actually need more hours to get your company off the ground.
This is really important. And this one too. Look, here's the thing. It's good that you have ambitions. We have ambitions and we want to let them implement them. But also you have to take into consideration, again, you have to take into consideration the people working for you.
So from what Jay is saying, and I agree with what he's saying, there are lots of factors that will be put that companies and countries in general have to consider in order to pass that particular law. And one company I also read about, it's not definitely that once you disconnect from work or you leave work, you shouldn't answer emails unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, they will send you and then you know. But then they've also passed that right that if it's not really important, then. So there you have it, folks. What is your take on the right to disconnect? Do you think it is a good law, or if you disagree, let us know in the comments below. And also, what steps do you think African countries, if you agree, what steps do you think African countries can take in order to reduce the working time or give workers that time to spend with their families and take note of holidays as well and weekends? So my name is Chimsa, and thank you, AJ, for greeting and honoring my invitation to discuss this very important law that was passed in another country, and we'll see how it affects other countries. And if you agree with this law and you have steps that you think African countries or certain companies should take to give their employees that right to stay home without working, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you another time. Bye bye.